Okay, so we have 99 students today in a live session. What an amazing feeling I'm getting. I'm feeling like I am not in a live session. I am in a war room, and all of you are warriors in front of me who are definitely destined to give and excel the October 2021 attempt of examination. And yes, guys, a very important milestone of your career. You have to give this October 21 examination. Yes, the exams are already delayed. They are already beyond time. So I hope and I expect that all of you have been given a lot of time. You know, just make utilization of that time and do not worry about whether sir will be able to do it or not, or sir we did not study for past 1 month, what are we going to do? Trust me, one very important thing in all the 3 professional examinations which I had observed, the last 2 months are the critical months of your preparations. If you have not studied in the last 6-7 months, but if you study hard in these last 2 months, you will definitely be able to cope up with the examination, and you will be able to succeed in the examination for sure. This has been my experience. So today is 16th of August, a quick time check. Today is 16th of August and 21st of October is our examination. So we roughly have about 2 months, still 2 months to go. September, October, still full 2 months to go. Guys, give it your best shot, give it your heart and soul in these 2 months. No big boss, no khatron ke khiladi, no gaming, no
India
shows.
England.
Yes, no cricket match, India versus England, nothing at all. Just focus on your studies. Trust me, if you devote these 2 months in your career, you will get an opportunity to see the repeat telecast of England and versus India match again and again, and definitely after you become a CMA, you will be in the Lords and seeing the match live one day, and that is what is my aspiration for all of you once you become CMAs. But for that, you need to sacrifice. We all need to sacrifice to attain something big in life. We all need to sacrifice. We all need to forego our pleasures. We all need to forego the good things in life to get something great. So yes, this is the time for you to get something great and forego small things. These small things won't matter. If you miss any of your television series, it won't matter because you'll see it as a repeat in the near future. So it doesn't matter at all. But if you miss upon this important deadline of your career, which is CMA intermediate examination, and if you postpone your attempt by 6 months, that is going to have a grave implication on your career. So do not do that and just focus on your examination. All right. So today we are going to start an important chapter of our syllabus, guys. And the chapter is residential status, and residential status would definitely command a good score in your examination. So let me open the discussion pointers which I've made. I've made a brief discussion pointer for all of you regarding this chapter. Let me open that and then we can start our revision. All right, guys, let us start one of the most important chapters of your syllabus. And let me tell you a shocking thing about residential status. And yes, I'm going to explain entirely in English, and I'm also going to take test in English. So all the students from South India, they can actually join. So no problems in that. Okay, let me tell you, before starting this chapter, let me tell you an astonishing fact about this chapter, residential status, which I recently came to know about. So residential status. So guys, first of all, please all of you keep yourself on mute. No one will unmute themselves. At no point in time will I ask you to unmute yourself. Only if I ask you to unmute yourself, then only you have to unmute. All the questions which I'm going to ask from you, you have to answer those questions on the chat box, and I'll tell you whenever I would ask you to unmute yourself, only then you will unmute yourself. All right. So talking about this chapter, residential status, guys, one very important thing which I came to know about residential status is that so CA, CS, CMA, in all 3 professional courses, residential status is an essential element of intermediate course. But in the final course, residential status is not asked in the examination at all. So there's no question of residential status in the final which is asked. But in December 2019, in CMA final examination, a question from residential status was also asked. So after December 2019 attempt, CMA final direct tax has got this chapter, residential status, in its important list, which earlier was not important, but it is an important list in CMA final as well. So if you are thinking that let's get away with this residential status in inter, and we will not be required to study residential status in our final examination and final paper. So guys, please have this notion out of your mind, because residential status is one of the most important chapters of your syllabus, and not only in intermediate but in final also this will hold a good percentage in your examination. Alright, so let's start this very first and basic chapter of our income tax, which is residential status. Before I come on to the contents of this chapter, let me tell you what is the need of residential status. Why do you want to ascertain residential status? Why do you want to see what is the residential status of a particular person? Why do I want to even judge what is the residential status of a particular person? The answer is very clear, guys, that taxability of an individual is governed by his residential status. So if an individual is a resident, or not only individual but the other kind of persons also, if he or she is a resident, then that particular person will be required to pay tax in a particular manner. So to govern that manner, what should be the manner in which a person should pay tax, how much income should be taxable in India of a particular person, the residential status is important. So the importance of residential status is that it ascertains the taxability of a particular person. Therefore, soon as you ascertain the residential status of a particular person, you will be able to know the taxability of that particular person. Before coming on to the conditions of residential status, let me explain you a little bit about the difference between residency, residential status and citizenship. So these are two different words, citizenship and residential status. Citizenship is acquired by birth or by the process of naturalization. Naturalization is the process in which if you marry your spouse who's belonging to a different country, then you get citizenship of a particular country, or if you are born in that particular country, then you get citizenship of that particular country. Citizens are having a right to vote. Citizens are having multiple rights that they can enter into an organization. Raghav, please mute yourself and do not unmute unless and until I tell you. So an organization, so a country, if a citizen wants to enter a country, he doesn't need any visa, he doesn't need any permission, he can enter the country anytime. But residential status is a different thing. Residency will not ensure that you will get an easy access to that particular country. Residency will not be resulting in your voting powers. You will not get voting rights if you have residency. But if you are citizen of a particular country, then you get voting power. You get to participate in the social security scheme which is available in that particular country. But residency is typically a concept which is related to income tax. And it does not mean, if you are a resident of a particular country, it doesn't mean that you will get all the essential rights and privileges of that particular country. For getting privileges, you need to be a citizen of that particular country. But if you just want to judge a particular person for taxation purpose, then the right thing is to judge his residential status. So there's a slight line of difference between residency and citizenship, which you should be aware about. And yes, for income tax purposes, for our income tax purposes, the relevance is of residential status and not of citizenship. Alright, so let me start with the residential status. We'll be able to, after this particular lecture, we'll be able to ascertain the conditions which are required to be fulfilled by any individual, HUF, AOPBOI, partnership firm, company, or any type of organization which wants to ascertain its residential status. So we'll first start off with individual. How do you make sure that, how do you ascertain that an individual is a resident of a particular country or not? So guys, there are two conditions. These two conditions are relevant. If you analyze these two conditions, and if your person, if your individual fulfills any of these two conditions, then they will be residents of that particular country. So what is the condition which is prescribed under the Income Tax Act 1961 for ascertaining the residential status of a particular individual? Condition number one, that person should be in India for 182 days or more. For 182 days or more, that person should be in India. If that person is in India for 182 days and more, then that person is a resident of India. This is the first basic condition. This is known as the first basic condition. It is given in section 6(1)(a) of the Income Tax Act. Now, after this particular condition, many people started misusing this condition. So what they used to do is, if even if they are residing in India for many years, and in past they are residing in India, but in the current year they know that they have earned a big chunk of income. So they might have earned capital gains on sale of land, or any kind of income they have earned in India. In that particular situation, whenever they would earn some income which was otherwise not taxable in India, they would deliberately move out of India to avoid the residential status for that particular year. So this condition, which is the basic condition which is applicable for that particular year in which you are earning income, this condition was expanded to the previous years as well. So the condition for the current year is that in the current year, if you are in India for 182 days or more, then you will be adjudicated as the resident of India. But if you are in India for 60 days or more in the current year, so from 182 days, we have directly diverged into a smaller threshold, 60 days. So if you are in India for 60 days or more, and there's one more condition, you were in India for 365 days or more during past 4 previous years. If you were in India for 365 days or more in the past 4 previous years, then also you will be treated as resident of India. So now 2 conditions are relevant for you. Condition number 1, the basic condition, which is if you are in India for 182 days or more, then you will be a resident of India. Condition number 2, if you are in India for the current year, you are in India for 60 days or more, but in the earlier previous years, in the 4 earlier previous years, you were in India for 365 days or more, then also you will be termed as a resident of India. So these are the twin conditions which you need to satisfy. If you even satisfy one of these 2 conditions, then you become a resident of India. Now we come on to the most important and most confusing part of your residential status calculation, which students repeatedly ask questions from this particular concept to me, and students are a little confused about this concept, the exceptions to the residential status rule. What are the exceptions to the residential status rule? So I'll discuss first of all the exception number 1. So condition number 2, you observe, guys, you observe, condition number 2 is a more strict condition. Condition number 1 was an easy condition. Condition number 2 is a strict condition. It is a more restrictive condition. Condition number 2 is a more strict condition. Even when you spend only 60 days in India, then also you are being adjudicated as the resident of India. So condition number 2 will not be seen. Condition number 2, which is the stricter condition, will not be seen in 3 cases. In these 3 cases, only the first condition will be seen, only the loose condition, the broad condition will be seen, which is 182 days. In the 3 conditions, what are those 3 conditions? Condition number 1, that Indian citizen who leaves India during the previous year for employment purpose. So if any person from India leaves India for employment person, then guys, his past is irrelevant, okay? His past is irrelevant. Condition number 2 talks about past. His past is irrelevant if he is moving out of India for employment purposes. Number 2, exception number 2. If he is moving outside India for member of crew of any Indian ship, then his past is irrelevant. In past, for whatever days he was in India, it is not of any significance. His past is irrelevant, and only 182 days stay in India in the current year is the relevant criteria. Third, an Indian citizen who is a person of Indian origin. Now, what is person of Indian origin? Person of Indian origin means that a person's grandparents or their parents have been born in India. Then that person is of a person of Indian origin who visits India and his total income from Indian source is up to 15 lakhs. So if a person's PIO's Indian income from Indian sources is below 15 lakhs, then also the condition number 2 is irrelevant. We will not see condition number 2. Sir, why this exception is there? Why are we saying that do not see condition number 2 in these cases? Because guys, I already have told you that condition number 2 has been introduced to pluck the people who are unjustifiably using condition number 1 to escape income tax. they are, for the current year, they are not in India for 182 days or more, but in the past they have been staying in India. In the future also they have been staying in India, but for that year in which they are earning heavy income, they are not in India. So they are ingenuine people. Ingenuine people. So for curbing the ingenuine people, condition number 2 has been imposed, and since condition number 2 is imposed for ingenuine people, the law has carved out an exception that these people are not ingenuine people, these are genuine people. If someone moves out of India for only for employment purposes, then that is a genuine reason why he is moving outside India. If a crew member of an Indian ship is moving outside India with his crew, then it is a genuine reason why he is moving outside India, and the purpose is not only to curb taxes, to avoid taxes. The purpose is not that. The purpose is employment. The purpose is work which this Indian person is doing. Therefore, condition number 2 becomes irrelevant for the genuine people. Genuine people are two kind of people: Indian citizen who is moving outside India for employment purposes, and Indian citizen who is moving outside India as a member of crew of any Indian ship. Then sir, is the third exception also genuine exception? Is the third exception also genuine exception? Guys, I don't know about genuinity of third exception, but I know one thing for sure, that we will not go after pennies. You know, income tax department is loaded with work. It cannot afford to go after people who are earning even less than 15 lakh rupees. So I'm not bothered about those people who are earning minuscule income from Indian sources. If your income is even less than 15 lakh rupees, and even if you are exploiting condition number 2, then also I'm not bothered. You please exploit condition number 2, no problem, because your income is very, very less. So point number 3 is not about genuinity or ingenuity. Point number 3 is about materiality. Point number 3 is about the quantum of tax which is being saved. So condition number 2 is irrelevant for genuine people. Genuine people means employment purpose who's going outside India person, a person who's member of crew who's going outside India, and thirdly, a person who is a PIO, who's an Indian citizen who earns income from Indian sources for below 15 lakh. Now, there is a modification of condition 2 also. There's another exception to this rule where condition over here, condition 2 is absolutely ignored, but over here condition 2 is not ignored. Condition 2 is modified. There is some modification which is to be done in condition number 2 under certain circumstances. So what are those circumstances? Circumstances are: the total income of an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin exceeds rupees 15 lakhs, 60 days is replaced with 120 days. So we give some bit of relaxation for people who are of Indian origin and who are earning big amount, 15 lakh, above 15 lakh, that is a big amount. If you are a person of Indian origin and earning big amount, then condition 2 is applicable to you, but we give you certain relaxation. Relaxation is only when you spend 120 days or more in India, only then we will consider you as a resident. That is a different thing. Whether we'll consider you as an ordinary resident or a not ordinary resident, that is a different thing. I am only concerned right now about that we will consider you as a resident of India if you spend 120 days in India in the current year and you spend 365 days or more during the previous 4 financial years. So this is the condition 2 modification which happens if PIO exceeds income, by way of income they exceed 15 lakh rupees, 60 days is replaced with 120 days. Now I want all your hands on the keyboard. Now let's see who can type the fastest. Fastest finger first we are going to play. My question to all of you is, if a PIO fulfills this condition and he stays in India for 182 days or more, if he stays in India for 182 days or more and that PIO has income of more than 15 lakhs, then please type on your chat box whether he becomes an OR or NOR. OR or NOR. Okay, Dikshit says NOR, Karanpreet NOR, Asif, Yash NOR, perfect. Amit OR, Nidhi OR, Revati OR, Sovodip NOR, Pujilal OR, Deepak Kumar, Karanpreet NOR. Acha, Karanpreet has changed his answer. Nivedita OR, Saloni OR, Harsha NOR, Sarthak OR, Karthik OR, Nandini OR. He is not ordinary resident. Yes, Utkarsh. Monisha NOR, Pillu NOR, Bharat OR, Anisha OR, Rakshit NOR, Abhinay NOR, Anushka NOR, Supriya NOR, Nidhi Maheshwari, Pillu, Arijit, Monisha, Pushpa. My question to Shri Charan Pulijala. Shri Charan, do you want to rethink about your answer? Shri Charan, do you want to rethink about your answer? Okay, Shri Charan says OR under section 6(1)(a). Okay. NOR, 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 Abhinay, Utkarsh, NOR, Srinidhi, OR, Jyoti, OR, Manisha, NOR, Suchitra, OR, Pillu, NOR, Abhinay. Okay, don't repeat your answers, guys. Don't repeat your answers. I'm aware about you. Himanshu says NOR. Very good. Where is Raghav? Raghav, what is your answer? Raghav. Abhinay, NOR, Ranojit, NOR, Monisha, Priyadarshini, OR, NOR, NOR, Monisha, NOR, Bikramjit, NOR, Pillu, NOR, Abhinay. Abhinay and Pillu, please don't repeat your answer. I'm actually speaking your name for thrice now, I guess. NOR, NOR, NOR. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Guys, absolutely, most of the students are correct. The correct answer is NOR, not ordinary resident. So if you do not fulfill this condition, if you are a person who is of Indian origin and you earn 15 lakhs of income or more and you spend 120 days during the current year in India, then you become an NOR, not an ordinary resident. So the correct answer is NOR. Okay, next. Guys, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Now, conditions are not relevant. Okay, both the conditions are not relevant. Both the conditions are not relevant. Guys, a change. Just look at the situation. Both the conditions are not relevant. So over here we were studying when condition 2 was not relevant. Over here only condition 2 was not relevant. But now I am going to a situation where both the conditions are not relevant. Both the conditions are not relevant when a person is a citizen of India and his total income other than income from foreign sources, which means income from Indian sources, is above 15 lakhs and he is not taxable in any other country or territory by reason of his domicile. Domicile means where he stays, or residence. Residence means where he has a house, or any other criteria of similar nature. Now, before I explain this part, and this is a humongous change which has been brought into by Assessment Year 21-22 Finance Act. This was the change which was an unbelievable change. The entire industry is at a shock. Everyone is at a shock that how can finance minister do this? I have a question from you before I explain this point to all of you. I have a question and your fingers should be on your chat box. Dikshit, no, 61A is the wrong answer. And now you cannot give any other further answer, Dikshit. Wrong answer, you cannot give any further answer. Okay, my question. The Income Tax Act has moved to from a residency and a domicile way of calculating residential status. It has moved to which type of ascertaining residential status? Please listen to my question. Please understand the question first, okay? Residential status was being ascertained on the basis of period of stay, okay? Period of stay. Or it was being ascertained on the basis of where is the house, where is your house? So I'm talking about international taxation, where is the house or something like that. Now, which method is being used to compute the residency? Which method? Okay, first answer was Yash answer, Keshav answer, citizenship, Dikshit Indian citizen. Brilliant, guys, brilliant. Yes, deemed residency is the right thing, but I wanted to know the method. The method is citizenship. Guys, let me tell you why is it a shock? Why is it a shock? We always tell students citizenship is different, residency is different. Citizenship is different, residency is different. This has been a principle ever since. Even when I was studying CS, CS and CMA, every teacher used to shout at top of their voices. They would shout that citizenship is different, residency is different. There's no relation between citizenship and residency. Both are absolutely different concepts. But to our astonishment, Nirmala Sitharaman in Assessment Year 21-22 Finance Bill, they have intermingled these two concepts of citizenship and residency. They have intermingled and they have introduced a concept of deemed residency, whereby they have said that if you are a citizen of India, then we love you so much that you will automatically become a resident of India. Now, let me tell you the conditions which are to be fulfilled if you are a citizen of India. Then how can you become residents of India? Now, point number one. if you become resident according to condition 1 and 2, deemed residency is not applicable to you because you are already a resident. Okay, so please understand my first point. My first point is, if you are a resident according to condition 1 and 2, if you are a resident according to condition 1 and 2, if you fulfill condition 1 or condition 2, if you fulfill these two conditions, then you cannot become deemed, then you cannot fall under deemed provision. Why? Because you are already falling in the main provision. So the first condition which you need to fulfill to fall under deemed residency provision is that you should not be falling under condition 1 and condition 2. You are a non-resident as per condition 1 and 2, only then your residency will be checked according to this deemed residency provision. Now let us come on to this deemed residency provision. Situation number 1, condition number 1, you should be a citizen of India. We love you, Pravasi Bharatiya is the campaign which Modi Sarkar has been running for a very long time. Pravasiya Bharatiya, you are a citizen of India. If you are a citizen of India and you are not a resident of India as per condition 1 and 2, you are not a resident of India as per condition 1 and 2, then if you are earning income from Indian sources which is more than 15 lakhs, plus one more condition, listen to one more condition, you are not liable to tax in any other country by reason of your domicile, residence or any other criteria of similar nature. Now please listen to my explanation very carefully. You will be able to learn this particular concept very easily if you understand the logic behind doing this drastic amendment in the act. Just listen to the logic, okay? I am CA/CSC/MA Nikhil Gupta. Assume a fictitious assumption, a hypothetical assumption. Assume that I am a super rich individual. I have got net worth rupees crores and crores. I am a very super rich person. Assume that, this is an assumption, a hypothetical assumption. This is absolutely not true, but assume that I am a super rich person. I have crores and crores of properties in my names and I have huge money in my bank balances. The bank comes to me and tells me that sir, the amount that is there in your bank account is so heavy that please open another account because the one bank account is not able to contain so many zeros which are there. So you please open a bank account so that your some of the amount which you have is to be transferred to some other bank account. I am that rich. Okay, now I have huge source of income from India. I earn a lot of money from India, from students of India. I charge hefty fees and I earn a lot of money from Indian students, and using that money, I am a tax teacher also. So all the more good reason that I can, play with tax provisions. So I know that if I stay in India for more than 182 days, then my entire money, which is global income, gets taxed in India. I know this feature. And I know that if I stay for more than 60 days, then if in the past 4 years, if I stay for 365 days, then also I become a resident of India. Similarly, I know I have contacts in Dubai. I call up Dubai people and I ask them that, sir, what is the residency number of days which is present in Dubai? How many days should I stay in Dubai that I become a resident over there? So they tell me that, in Dubai, if you stay for say 100 days, then you become a resident. So in Dubai, I know that the residency period is 100 days. I call up United Kingdom, I call up London. So I check with England people that what is the residency criteria over there. So I check the residency criteria in many parts of the world. And just to avoid tax, I stay for less than the stipulated time period in India, less than the stipulated time period in USA, less than the stipulated time period in different parts of the world, just to avoid residency. So at the end of the year, I am not becoming resident of any of the countries. I keep on moving. I have so much money that I have bought houses in all these countries, or I stay in big hotels, 5-star hotels in all these countries. I have so much of money that I avoid residential status in all these countries. If I avoid residential status in all these countries, please mind the word all. If I avoid residential status in all these countries, then Income Tax Act tells me, despite of the fact that you do not fulfill condition 1 and 2, you will become resident of India. So if you are a citizen of India then despite of the fact that you do not fulfill condition 1 and 2, you will become a resident of India. This is this exception which has been introduced. This has been introduced for malicious people. Malicious people in the sense, people who would misuse the Income Tax Act. They would not stay in a particular country just to avoid staying in a particular country. They would move from one country to another to avoid residential status in all the countries and to avoid taxation. They misuse the provisions of law to avoid residential status. For them, for those people, at least for Indian citizens, the citizens who are of India, for those people this law has been introduced which says that if you are a citizen of India and you are not a resident in any other country of the world, you are not a resident of any other country of the world, then you will become a resident of India despite of the fact that you have not spent even a single hour in India. You have not come to India, even then you will be considered as a resident of India. Now your fingers on the keyboard and I want one answer. The answer is, which kind of residency will be awarded to you? Will it be OR or will it be NOR? Will it be OR or will it be NOR? Keshav, brilliant. Hats off to Keshav. First answer. Adarsh, Dikshit, Lipika, Suchitra, Yash, Nishi, Utkarsh, Karanpreet, Tejashri, Suadeep, Madhushri, Richa, Rakshit, Monisha, Nandini, Abhinay, Ronajit, Anushka, Kirthana, Sarthak, Deepak, Rishabh, brilliant, Shweta, Bharat, Jyoti, Amit Yadav, Manisha, Supriya, John Kelk, Ishita, Karthik, Sujal, Sudhanshu, Ankit Jha, NOR, Himanshu, very good. Raghav, where is your answer? Raghav, Nivetha, Revti, Anna, Nidhi, Dikshit, Nalayak Dikshit, Gyanendra, brilliant. Utkarsh, Bikramjit, Garima, Amit, Sudhanshu, Kalyani, Raghav, Soumya, Harshit. I am waiting for Raghav's answer. Raghav's answer has just come. Okay, Raghav, perfect. Surayu, Ritesh, Srinidhi, Bikramjit, Shreya, Priyadarshini, Revti, perfect. All are absolutely correct. This time all are absolutely correct. Guys, this is a hardship. If you expect that on the basis of citizenship, you give us residency, if you do that, Indian government, I am talking to Indian government, if Indian government gives residency on the basis of citizenship, which is again a harsh step, then at least they should not give the ordinary residency. So this would be harsh if the government would have done this. But no, government has not done this. Government has given the deemed residency as NOR, which means you will become a not ordinary resident if you fulfill this citizenship criteria of becoming the resident. But yes, this condition was introduced to plug the loopholes which are exploited by malicious people, by people who have malified intention to escape law. For those people, this law was introduced. Now, a very simple condition. How will you become a not ordinary resident but not ordinary resident? Two conditions, any of the two conditions satisfied, then you become a not ordinary resident. What are those two conditions? You are a non-resident in 9 out of 10 financial years preceding last financial year. If you are a non-resident for 9 out of 10 financial year, you become a not ordinary resident. If the person has been in India for 729 days or less in 7 previous financial years, this is the conditions which are specified in section 6.6. So section 6.6 deals with NOR, not ordinary resident. If any of these two conditions are satisfied, then you become a not ordinary resident. Now, again, fingers on your keyboard. Listen to the question carefully. Income of which of the following will be higher? OR or NOR? Taxable income of which of the following will be higher? OR or NOR? Absolutely. All of you are right. Yes, very good. Tejashri, Yash, Sarthak, Richa, Ritesh, Nandini, Sricharan, Anmol, Shweta, KB Ram, Adarsh, very good, absolutely correct. Abhinay, Sudhanshu, Sovodeep, Ankit Jha, brilliant, very good. Amazing answer, guys, amazing answer. Yes, income of a OR will be higher. Therefore, you would definitely want your status to be NOR. Ideally, I would want my status to be NR, not resident, because then I'll be facing minimum tax in India. But if I'm not able to manage that, at least I want to be managed in this manner, RNOR, not ordinary resident. And if I become not ordinary resident, then my income will be less taxed as compared to ordinary resident, and therefore I will definitely want to be an OR rather than an NOR. Okay, right. So this was the residency of individual. Now we come on to residency of Hindu undivided family. Now my question to you is, please, your fingers on the keyboard, fastest finger first. Hindu undivided family. Will a Jain family be a Hindu undivided family? Yes or no? Jain. Dikshit says a no. Nalayak. Karanpreet says a yes. Nandini yes. Lipika yes. Priya Malhotra wrong. No. Manisha yes. Yash yes. Himanshu yes. Sarthak wrong. Garima yes. Tejashri jonk. Kirthana, Harshit, Suvadeep, Revati, Richa wrong answer. Pillu correct. Ishita, Goel yes. So all the Baniyas will be able to answer this question well, because they know Jains and Baniyas are definitely forming part of HUF. Yes, Jain community falls under the definition of HUF. So yes, Jainism is a forming part of Bharat Arijit, wrong answer. Bharat Arijit, wrong answer. So yes, Jainism falls under category of HUF. Now my next question to you. Okay. Next question. Be prepared for the next question. Fingers on your keyboard. Next question. Okay, I still have the answers coming in for the last question. Shelja, Supriya, Asif, Suresha, Maleshri, what is S? Ankit, wrong answer. Anisha, what is SES? Yes. Kalyani, yes. दीक्षित सर मैं आपका एमसीक्यू का दिखा था आज, क्या बोल रहे हो दीक्षित? अब दीक्षित ने अपना आंसर पलट दिया, यस बोल रहा है. दीक्षित नींद तो नहीं आ रही, आंखों में पानी मार के आओ. क्वेश्चन नंबर टू इज सिख फैमिली फॉर्मिंग पार्ट ऑफ HUF? यस और नो? सिख फैमिली. श्रीचरण यस, वेरी गुड. लिपिका यस, करणप्रीत यस, यश यस, अरिजीत यस, गुड. नंदिनी यस. आसिफ रॉन्ग आंसर. हिमांशु यस, दीक्षित यस, अनुष्का यस, गणेश रॉन्ग आंसर, इशिता यस, तेजश्री, निधि मेहता, सौम्या यस, वेरी गुड. मनीष नो, रॉन्ग आंसर. अभिनय वेरी गुड. श्वेता वेरी गुड. पिल्लू वेरी गुड. हर्षित ग्रेट. अमित यादव ग्रेट, यस. उत्कर्ष यस. दीपक, कीर्थाना, एवरीवन इज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. वेरी गुड. नाउ माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, and very critical question. Next question, very critical question. Okay, let the answers complete. And then I'll ask my next question. Yes, Jyoti yes, Supriya yes, Suresh yes, Abhinay yes, Ritesh yes. So Ritesh has given a hissing sound. Yes. Shailaja yes, Maleshwari yes, Bhavesh, Selva, Divya, Sudhanshu, Abhinay, brilliant guys, very good. Now hear out my next question. Gurpreet wrong answer. Gurpreet Mahi, I don't know why a wrong answer in this such a easy question. Ganesh is nalayak. No Ganesh, we will make sure that you become layak. Even if you are nalayak now, we will make sure that you become layak. Okay, next question. Fastest finger first on your keyboard. Is a Muslim family be considered as an HUF? Wow, good Bharat, good Karanpreet, Shubhadeep, Keshav, Nandini, Arijit, Anmol. I'm not giving the right answer right now. I want to know your answer first. Nidhi no, Twisha no, Yash no, Anushka no. A Muslim family. Amit Yadav no, Himanshu no, Nishi Singh no, Deepak no, Asif no, Rakshit no, Harsha no, Gyanendra no. Acha, Harsha yes, okay. Pillu yes. Rishabh Krishna Murthy. Rishabh, what is your answer? No. Okay. Preeti no. Dikshit yes. Okay. Abhinay says Nana. Harshit no. Sir, how Sikh family is HUF? Gurpreet, because there is the law has specifically included Sikh family as an HUF, as a part of HUF. That is why Sikh family is a part of HUF. Okay. Now Dikshit will unmute himself and Dikshit will explain us the reason why he is saying that Muslim family will form part of HUF.
नहीं सर, कंफ्यूज कर रहा.
अरे
मेरे को पहले नो लगता था, अभी यस लग रहा है, पता नहीं।
बट यू हैव रिस्पॉन्डेड अ यस.
मैंने दोनों दिए हैं, पहले मेरा नो था आंसर,
वाह, शाबाश,
फिर मेरे को लगा यस होना चाहिए।
shabash. So guys, the answer is Muslim family is not forming a part of HUF.
सर क्यों सर,
Because
क्यों?
Hindus, please go by the literal meaning of word Hindus. Hindus means, Hindu is indicating about a religion, about a religious belief, about a path, about a belief, mental belief. So HUF is a Hindu driven or a Hindu belief driven type of person. If HUF is a Hindu driven type of person, then Muslim family cannot form part of HUF. Now my next question. Okay, now the point is, this is not written in the act. This comes by case laws which have been decided. Okay, act does not have this, that Muslim doesn't form part of HUF, but case laws are there which says this. Okay, now my next question, and a very interesting question. Very interesting question. No, Christians will not form part of HUF. Jyoti, no, not at all. Next question, very interesting question. So there is a Muslim family, father, mother and a son. Father, mother and a son. Son is 5 years old. Mother and father dies due to corona. The Muslim son is adopted by a Hindu family. Muslim son is adopted by a Hindu family, Hindu parents. Muslim son is adopted by Hindu family. Will that Muslim son can become a part of HUF? Yes or no? Okay, before I complete my question, answers came. Okay, most of the students are saying yes, yes. Abhinav says no. Yash says yes. Lipika yes. Twisha says yes. Suvodeep says yes. Harsha yes. Nandini yes. Adarsh yes. Rakshit yes. KB Ram yes. Utkarsh yes. Teja, everyone is saying yes, 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 yes. And Dikshit is still thinking, and then he will get confused, and then he will give both the answers yes and no.
नहीं मैंने भेज दिया, जान दिया।
Manisha yes. Supriya, Manish says no. Okay, Supriya says yes. Richa says yes. Sarthak yes. Dikshit says yes. Garima yes. Sujal yes. Abhinay says no. Okay, so I'll tell you the correct answer. The correct answer is yes, that son will form a part of HUF. Now what is the logic? Sir, he is not a Muslim. Sorry, he is not a Hindu, he is a Muslim. Then why are you saying that he becomes a member of HUF? Now I'll tell you the reason. The court said Hinduism or Muslim community or Jain or Sikh community is a belief system, is a system by which you understand yourself, is a thing that you are driven by. It is a belief. So since it is a belief, if from an early age of your life you are taught that belief, even if you are not a Hindu by birth, if in early age of your life, if you are followed by that belief of religionism and that being a Hindu, you start doing things which Hindu does, and yes, you are adopted also. Adoption is also an important factor. That adoption is also playing a critical role. But the point is that if you follow beliefs of Hinduism, if you follow whatever Hindus do, then you become a part of Hindu undivided family. And yes, the court said, there was a Supreme Court case law which said that Hindu undivided family, a person who is a son of a Muslim, if he is adopted by Hindu undivided family, then he becomes part of Hindu undivided family. So now let us come on to the residential status of Hindu undivided family. If the control and management of affairs of Hindu undivided family is wholly or partly situated in India during the relevant previous year, then HUF is said to be a resident. Wow, wow, wow. Please note two words. Please underline two words. Wholly or partly. So even if one decision relating to HUF is done in India, then also HUF becomes a resident of India. So control and management of affairs of HUF is wholly or partly. And guys, they have not said that partly means 50%. Partly means 20% or 25%. They have not said this. Even if 1% of control and management, even if 0.5% of control and management is in India, then that HUF becomes a resident of India. So residency of HUF depends on the control and management of HUF. Now the question is, he has become a resident, HUF becomes a resident, but how do you consider, how would the resident be bifurcated into two parts, ordinary resident and not ordinary resident? Now to ascertain whether that particular HUF is an ordinary resident or a non-ordinary resident, the status of Karta will be seen, and the conditions which are given in 6.6, that is the previous year's condition which is given in 6.6, these are the conditions which are given in 6.6. Just read these conditions once more. In previous years he should be a non-resident for 9 out of 10 years, and for 729 days or less he should be in 7 financial years be present in India. Then if these two conditions are satisfied, then he becomes a not ordinary resident. Same condition will be applied, tested for Karta, and if Karta fulfills these conditions, then the HUF becomes not ordinary resident or ordinary resident respectively. So to conclude, the residency versus non-residency is ascertained by the HUF itself. But once residency is ascertained, to ascertain ordinary resident and not ordinary resident, the status of Karta is seen. So if Karta satisfies the conditions which are given in 6.6, then he becomes a not ordinary resident, and if he doesn't satisfy any of the conditions which are given in 6.6, then he becomes an ordinary resident. So the residency of Karta is a determinative factor to ascertain the residency of HUF. So HUF residency is to be ascertained using two factors. Factor number 1, control and management of HUF. Factor number 2, whether Karta is a resident or a not ordinary resident. So these are the two factors which are to be cumulatively seen in case of HUF residency. Okay, sir, got it? So now in case of a company, poem, yes, please always, whenever a residency of company is decided, you always should get the word poem in your mind. Poem means place of effective management, the place where management is effectively situated. Now I'll tell you a brief history about this word effective. Now people are very smart, okay? To evade tax, they can do anything and everything. So this effective word was introduced by law to curb the loophole which people had done in the law previously. So what people used to do was that they had a foreign company in India. So Indian company is always a resident, so that there is no doubt in an Indian company, okay? They had a foreign company, they had premises of a foreign company or a branch office or a license office or anything in India. What they used to do is, they used to do entire business in India because they were actually mainly doing business in India. They used to do entire business in India. But whenever there was a board meeting, please listen to me carefully. Please listen to me carefully because I have seen these situations happening practically in real life. Whenever they had a board meeting, whenever they had an important general meeting or anything that where decisions are taken or where resolutions are passed, the board of directors used to fly to Singapore or some nearby country so that it is proved that the management happens in outside India. To prove that, they used to have board meetings or some important decision making factors they used to do outside India. Now to curb this situation which the Indian company used to do, the word was introduced, effective management. So having a board meeting outside India, it doesn't mean anything. If you are managing everything from India, then you become a poem, and if you become a poem in India, then a foreign company becomes a Indian resident. So the word is not management, okay? Please remember, word over here is management in case of HUF. In case of HUF, word is management. It is not effective management. But in case of company, the word is effective management. Effective management means effectively where management is happening. It doesn't need to fulfill some procedural aspects like where meeting is happening. It doesn't matter where meeting is happening. You tell me where effective management is happening. So yes, a very broad criteria, and later on a certain rule, certain description was also there for what do you mean by effective management, and those prescriptions are also there. But the word that you need to remember for companies is effective management, place of effective management. Any other person? Again, the word is control and management. If control and management is partly or wholly situated in India, then other person becomes a resident of India. So control and management is the word.